What do you think about the claim that fiber intake prevents colon and other types of cancer? It's just BS. It actually does creates a lot of inflammation, too much of it. We don't have a cecum to basically break down, and it actually does micro tears. So, especially if it's raw, it's not indicated at all, and it's just nonsense. That's healthy user bias. It's really most people that basically have lower cancer rates are people that are vegetarians that do a whole lot of other healthy things. They don't consume as many seed oils or refined sugars and stuff like that. And it's usually people that are getting the high deuterium, the higher damaging effects of the mitochondria, that are on a standard diet. They are the ones that are, and they tend to have less fiber, but it's not the fiber. That's just an association. That's, as I said, these are all associational studies that these things are based on. Whenever they do mechanistic studies, it doesn't pan out. And there's a one that Paul Mason actually has a video. If you Paul Mason fiber, it actually shows where they actually did. This is in Sydney, Australia, where they did the study, and they actually removed different levels of fiber, and they saw different gut improvements. And when they went zero, all symptoms of those patients, these are patients with actual disease, gut disease problems, all went away, their symptoms. Tells you a lot about fiber. These are just, the other stuff is associational claptrap. It's like I did a video on this guy about lipopolysaccharides and sepsis and stuff like that. I think it was related. This guy Ian, if you Google my name, Ian Harrisopanos, and you'll actually see where I school this boy who basically can't even read science. And actually, I go through and actually show quite clearly how the meta-analysis is the conclusions from the meta-analysis are coming from all the poor research that has been added to the meta-analysis. And only one of the research studies actually shows the inverse, the opposite. When you see an opposite in something, because there is a thing called the Bradford Hill criteria. When something is, it always will associate to differing degrees, but it always will associate. If it ceases to associate, you get the inverse effect in research. It means it's a bust. It's not valid because it can't even associate under certain circumstances. So how can it be related? And it's the same thing with fiber. When they do mechanistic studies, they can't find that relationship becomes inverse. Again, it's because of the healthy user bias of epidemiological studies where people are just filling out questionnaires. That's what all these claims are based on. It's bullshit.